You again. Oh, right. You were the one with that story. For that, you can pass for a pittance. Over you go. Happy...
Please help us. The witch ain't here. What my friend wishes to say is that Alice went into the cloisterwood collecting herbs. Would you mind awfully procuring for us a small potion that Alice Elysian keeps in her cellar? We'd rather like to, you know, assume our rightful forms and toddle off. Thanks ever so. Thank the gods. I humbly thank you. You won't regret it.
Mating season, you know. All the young'uns are hopping after each other double quick. Not a good time to be bringing a litter into the world, I'll tell you. But young love beats common sense every time.
Red Prince, greatest of royals, greatest of kings to be. Do stay with me here for a while. Take a rest from the weary road.
A great pounding suddenly erupts in your chest. Your inner god roars and bellows, an incoherent, maddening cacophony.
It is awful how she treats you. She asks so much and gives so little in return. I am the only one who cares. She will say otherwise. She always does. And in the end, she'll betray you. Don't play her game. Think of yourself. Rest here. The sun is golden. No one will bother you. This moment can last forever, if you let it.
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a strong current. The fatigue ebbs away, then surges back.
Shh, don't fight it. This is how it's supposed to be. Sleep now. When you wake, it will be in a new world, a beautiful world. I only wanted to give you rest, not pain. Now, I leave you to my children. They are many. They are impatient. They lack my gentle touch. I am sorry, truly.
was no ordinary Voidwoken who spoke. That was the one who leads them.
West, Blood Moon Island. South, Driftwood. East, the Meadows.
By the hazing of the shade, I'll kill your shining lights! I'll kill your shining lights! Venomous toad! I'd lick his back and say goodnight! I'd skin him all alive! I'll eat your shining lights! Another world! Another life! Thieves and liars! I'd eat their tongues! I'd eat their lives! I'll eat your shining lights! Trouble? Trouble? Bubbling skin and burning knuckle! I'll kill your shining lights! Oh, baby, oh, darling, I'm so sorry! You feel it! You feel it too! Come to me, and I'll kill your shining lights! Bubbling skin and burning knuckle! I'll kill your shining lights! Rising of the shade, I'll kill your shining trouble? Trouble? Bubbling skin and burning knuckle, I'll kill your shining lights! Oh, baby, oh, darling, bubbling skin and burning knuckle! I'll kill your shining lights!
Doesn't it?
What was that thing?
Please, Lord, spare me. Spare me. It is too much. I hurt too much. You cannot come here. I'm not done.
The creature suddenly holds itself around the ears, as though seized by a great pain. Several flapping jaws open and close over a single many-fanged maw, like a taxidermist's experiment.
Go! Why are you here? Why do you come here?
His frantic gaze passes from the blood-stained altar to you. Comprehension suddenly clears the agony from his face.
He wants blood. He wants blood. My lord, I'll give you blood. I'll give it all. I beg you, my lord. Accept.
Hurts, doesn't it? Meet your maker. Doesn't it?
Glory is mine.
An ancient altar to the Seven stands alone before you. Faint, comforting heat emanating from the stones themselves calls you forward. The stones appear to be just that. Apart from a few faded red stains across the topmost slab, nothing unusual betrays itself. The air stirs, as though someone had appeared and taken a seat upon the altar. A voice rises around you, its source unclear. Fractured whispers surround you. Hurry. The altar lies in silence.
Oh, hey. It's a two-parter. First, I'll run a little favor for him, taking out an enemy of his called the Advocate, and he'll help me grow my capacity for Source. All the better to fight the demon with, according to him. After that's done, he'll be able to exorcise the demon. It's almost too simple to be true. I guess we'll see what kind of fellow this Advocate turns out to be. What, this old gaggle of weirdos? He's got the thing, you know? Some people see the world as it presents itself. Other people see it as it really is. Jahan's one of those. I don't know about home, but I do sort of miss the gang I travel with now and then. Crawler, Madcap, Papa Joris for sure. Musicians mostly. We all had our own stories, our own troubles, but when we were together and the music was with us, it was like none of that mattered at all. When you have people like that around you, you know, a family, even rain feels like sunshine. Well, I think I should focus on getting this demon out of my head. And of course, I think you should help me. And if we pick up a few new Source tricks along the way, so be it.
A vast continent full of people, full of destinies. Didn't you hear, Melody? We're off to find the Meister. And the Master. As such, my first priority remains to find Roost. He is the pawn that will eventually topple the king.
Just when I think this land holds no more surprises, I find myself in some place even more dismal than the last. Still, at least this is an interesting variation on dismal. How many times must I tell you? I have business in the Black Pits. We should head to the excavation site there.
There's a boat at the dock. Perhaps it may take us to the island.
Shall I take you to the island? I shall. I shall. Step this way. All aboard. It is. But I know what I'm doing. I've been working this crossing my whole death. Trust me.
Did you expect a needle? The altar lies in silence.
Don't be casting your long shadows around here, mister. This here land's not for your kind.
Please, take care. I didn't.
The elven warrior greets you with a scowl.
Behold, co-co-co! Behold! It is I, the magic cockerel. Be not frightened by my splendor! That's right, Coco! Doubt will serve you ill before the magic cockerel. None to doctor! Kill the wizard! I should certainly hope so. All my life's work has been for naught. Send a little bloke my way next time you happen upon him. I'd like to see what a fine specimen the magic cockerel has produced.
You recognize Diana, the runaway scion from Fort Joy. Her face looks different, alight with fervor.
You! I warn you not to follow! You! Accident! You...
Her face, tight with rage, suddenly slackens. She winces.
Forgive. The armor warns of thieves. I do not expect friends. You think I am mad? This one takes my spores, but the armor finds her.
She gestures at the bound Magister and freezes as if listening.
Yes, yes. Simpler to show them. Come. Watch. Do not touch. Come here, Duran.
The Magister's scream bubbles beneath putrid gas and is cut suddenly short. The corpse rocks gently, as if shifting in sleep, and then splits to release surging vines. The creepers knit silently together to weave a pair of gauntlets. Diana tears them free, something close to worship in her eyes.
Do you see now? It is a marvel. The armor grows from the thief. Something beautiful from something evil. Forget her cries. Her death is good. Not my plans, its plans, the presence within. It shows me such things. A world where we are not prey, but hunters. A world where...
She grasps her head as if trying to clear it.
It is for us to know.
A snarl of vines snakes upward from the corpse. After a moment, you realize the gruesome truth. They're not entangling the corpse, but bursting from it.
Hush! The ancestor speaks.
She places a hand on her armor, eyes shut, as if straining to hear.
Ah! It fades. It must be whole. Then the ancestor can speak freely. 2. My prisoner says they take one to these black pits nearby, the other to Arx. It is said to be a hollow place, stone and fire and filth. I go even so. What? Give! You bargain. Your life. This is my offer. I take it from your corpse, thief. You choose this, not me.
You see it all. The tallest of the ancestor trees have been lost beneath swirling clouds of death fog. Nothingness. Emptiness. You sag to the earth, utterly lost, and then you feel it. Not all is dead down in the valley. Spores given off by the ancestor trees. The presence within needs to grow, and it will show you how. But first, you must learn to protect yourself. You are not alone any longer. Later, you hear the presence now. The armor always whispering. The Magister Thief looks round, and the voices scream at you to strike.
Nice.
I see you, but you are no elf. This place is not for you. Its trial is not for you to attempt. Very well. You may face the trial. You shall learn all that you need to know. Show patience. Elves know that nature is a finer weapon than even the sharpest blade. The Four Seasons have served our people well. 4 heroes rest before you, wielders of the seasons. Pay homage to their skills, solve their riddle, and prove yourself worthy of elven respect, if you can. Winter shudders with ice and snow. Autumn rumbles, the sky lit aglow. Summer burns, air fiery as a hearth. Spring quenches with bloody rebirth. I am the voice of the fire. My flame bears the will of all elves and lights the way for those who wish to prove their mettle.
The totem stares ahead, silently. The totem is still and silent. The totem is still. The totem stares ahead, silently.
I see you. An elf by appearance is not always an elf by heart. Prove yourself, overcome the trial, and stand as a true elf. A true elf knows that nature is a finer weapon than even the sharpest blade. The Four Seasons have served our people well. 4 heroes rest before you, wielders of the seasons. Pay homage to their skills, solve their riddle, and prove yourself, if you can. Winter shudders with ice and snow. Autumn rumbles, the sky lit aglow. Summer burns, air fiery as a hearth. Spring quenches with bloody rebirth. From somewhere within the totem, a voice booms.
Winter, that armors our forest home in ice and snow. Let it make our enemies stumble and fall. and make them easy meals for our spears.
From somewhere within the
winter that armors our forest home in ice.
The totem stares ahead, silently. The totem stares... The totem stands dormant. The totem stands... The totem stares... The totem stands dormant. An ancient, echoing voice rises from within the totem.
Autumn, the turbulent beauty. It brings color to our home and death to our enemies. Tersendelius utters his battle cry and rains down spears of pure light.
From within the totem, an otherworldly voice.
Spring, gentle so that the others may be strong.
The fallen quench the soil with their blood and hasten the rebirth. Death becomes life, as is our way.
Don't know how I'm gonna make this long stretch of the week.
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of magic. Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Humidity that will protect against cold wipe.
I can toil aside fire, cold and poison. But why welcome? God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Cold stealers.
Got in everything to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right.
Fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
You're safe among friends.
Sign that don't
Never
fancy
forget.
starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
Yep.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
talk about it.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. Always woken her everywhere. Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you, nothing more.
Come over. While you're frying anything.
They don't come visit your tongue. Who will?
Would you like to know?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients, and...
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Until later, then.
Keeping it together, Bree.
You're doing okay, boy of mine.
Ma, I'm fine.
Fine, Fab, you're a hero.
The Magister's jaw is tightly clenched as he stares out of the window. He senses you.
Come on, can't I go play with the others?
No can do, Chickadee. You're not leaving my side for a while longer yet.
What? Those tinkerers all look the same. Scruffy, gold-hungry, sly wretches. This one has a grey beard and a dark cloak, according to reports. Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then.
No can do, Chickadee. You're not leaving my side for a while longer yet.
Milk, my inkwell is dry.
Right away.
Let it be known henceforth to each and every subject here and everywhere that, in the absence of our beloved Alexander, Bishop Divine, slain with malice and injustice by foul sorcerers, as were let fly by the perfidious lizards of the ancient empire, with the aid and abettancy of the treacherous dwarven kingdom, the Divine Order of Lucian is now led by his son's most trusted intimate and advisor, Dallis, Hammer of the Divine, Saviour of the Sorcerers, and new Deliverer of the peoples of Rivellon. The Hammer shall take counsel from her most trusted advisors. Hail to the Hammer, 7 times blessed. The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? You've been playing pretend all your life, but the reality is quite different. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. The ingredients are in the cupboard, the sauce in the fountain. The ritual is described in the tome by the bookcase, and, well, I'm sure a fine reptile like yourself would have no trouble summoning some fire.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
Once, although not by a Godwoken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. Well, certainly. It is not my place to police the stupidity of others. I have to admit I was curious. Imagine if it had been a success. Why, then anyone could have ascended, even I... Alas, success was beyond her reach. Quite fascinating to watch, though. I've never seen a body burn from the inside out before. And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot, nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudenay oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
This deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echo.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Red Prince, come. Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. You will see when you look me in the eye.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes shine brightly. Speak the spell and see.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Zorstissa in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Zorstissa nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, as a matter of fact. Our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source, in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs.
It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism, and a dreadful mistake to boot, which we must rectify. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension. Not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom, this world's liberator. It's very simple, really. They will either bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own god Woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Red Prince. Chances are the road to Divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and your empire. I promise that yours alone will be the powers of the lake. And to the lake I will lead you. But not yet. Not until you've become a true master of the Source. Until you speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-Woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, my prince. But if all I had to do was give, you would long since have received. Although I see that even without my help, you've managed to channel your Source in greater volumes already. Met with a master of the Source, did you? Very good. I have given you eyes that see the Source. Now I will give you the teeth to take it.
Zolstissa smiles, and you notice for the first time two vampire-like fangs glistening beneath her upper lip. A gulf of magic envelops you, and you feel a sudden insatiable hunger for Source.
Go on. I am here for you. Give in to your hunger. Do not heed me or any other. Only your own lust for power, just like a god should. Go on. Devour me.
Though your spell tore through her like a spear through flesh, Zolstissa looks grimly happy, if haggard.
You speak the spell with brash ferocity, like I knew you would, my prince. Oh, do you still not see? Even though you are a god Woken, destined to be a god? Let me tell you the one truth about what it means to be a god. It is to be the lion in a world of lambs. It is about power, and power is not given. It is taken. With your all-seeing eyes and your all-consuming teeth. You can see the souls of the dead, and now you can feed from them to your hungry heart's content. So, feed. For you will starve until you finally feast upon the Well of Ascension. Play coy if you must. But sheer hunger will soon trump your all too delicate feelings. Your soul must grow bigger still. Your inner self become a vaster expanse, so that it may house divinity. There are more masters of the Source, more aspects of the Source to learn. The hunt continues, my prince. Just you hurry.
The spirit of a dwarf frowns at you, suspicion drawing the lines of his face deep.
I don't hear any pickaxes! No shovels! Where are my lazy diggers? We can't be wasting time! The Empress will have me head, and then all of yours! Haven't you seen the excavation site? There's real treasure there. Bones of the beast. The site's close. It has to be. There's more stones to break, more earth to turn. We need to get there.
The spirit taps his foot, arms crossed tight across his chest.
Why are you wasting everyone's time? Get to the site before the Empress sees. You don't know the Outlaw Empress? She'd gut you for the disrespect. So best get digging before she gets back. The site's close. It has to be. There's more stones to break, more earth to turn. We need to get there.
A man's spirit stands before you, clad in scholarly dress. When your eyes meet, he staggers back, terrified.
Sweet Armadia, why do you test your chronicler so, haunting me with spirits?
Quit your spitting! There's work to be done at the dig. Where's your shovel?
Rufus, am I dreaming? How could we be together after...
The chronicler shudders, looking sick to his stomach.
Again. This again. I sleep, then I wake, and another piece of the world is gone. The Empress. It was her. It was that armor. I died for it, and now I'm trapped here. I died. Oh, Armadia. Why can't I escape? Why is there never a way out?
You seem different. Tell me, what have you learned? Or has the smoke simply addled your mind beyond repair? Vampirism? As if killing a creature weren't enough, you should utterly destroy its soul too. A dark skill, but certainly useful.
The Meister slumps back in her chair, closing her eyes. Her breathing is shallow and ragged.
Very well then. But as you lack the glowing eyes of the divine, or the purpose of one soon to be divine, I trust you need more source. Thankfully, the Magisters have made our lives very simple. They carefully catalogued every sorcerer in this area, keeping careful records in their barracks. The gentle and weak were captured, collared and shipped to Fort Joy. The powerful masters were deemed too dangerous or insane to confront. Which means they may still be open to a teaching position. Do not look at me like that. I said it was simple, not easy. Now get to the Magister's barracks and find that list. You no longer have the luxury of time.
The spirit keeps glancing back. A difficult task since his shoulders are tense as iron.
How can I help? I don't have a choice. You're the one wearing those gauntlets, dragging me around this way and that. I cannot do anything to prevent it. We are bound together. Me? I archived Rivellon's history. I used ink to immortalize greatness on the page. A lizard empress sought my services. She needed an ancient design restored from a damaged text. She told me the design was brilliant. When the armor was forged, the Empress showed it to me, and she trapped me inside. Consumed me. If it wasn't for me, the armor wouldn't exist at all. This is my fault. If I knew the way, I'd shout until every god heard me. But I have no idea. I simply want this to end.
Quit idling. We have to dig.
The chronicler puts his head in his hands, collapsing in silent defeat. The spirit taps his foot.
Why are you wasting everyone's time? Get to the site before the Emperor. The site's close.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
I'm just another useless elf. Might as well have a
I don't care if we tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't. You've been warned, Barnes. Now get out of my sight.
The Magister turns, and his eyes fall on you.
Oh, there, lizard. Reach for a weapon and I'll see you gutted, filleted and pickled. Now, I'm looking for someone. You might even know him. Grey cloak, grey beard, a satchel of books under one arm. Of course you haven't. Your kind would never rat out a sorcerer, would you? If I find you're hiding him from me, I'll cut off bits that won't grow back. If you see anything suspicious, report it immediately, skink. Understand?
Bugger off, I'm busy.
Grisha's still the favourite.
If any of you
If I bet against him, I
beer almost covers up the stink of fish.
The dog sniffs the wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, mister. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake. The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
All right. Forgot your lot still keep slaves. Your empire's rotten as this catch. But the boss has found a buyer for this muck, so maybe there's hope for you yet.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the ground.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine, except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now you slither on, lizard. I've enough scales to deal with.
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arx has the same inscription.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram.